Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Before I begin, don't forget to join my Discord server called Luke 810's Hangar. I plan on joining weekly, so if anybody wants to fly together, we can make that happen. My Discord server is linked down in the description below. Today I'll be flying out the Grumman F9F-8 Cougar. The F9F-8 Cougar was a carrier-based fighter jet developed by Grumman Aircraft Engineering Corporation. The Cougar was a continuation of the earlier F9F Panther series, representing a key development in the evolution of carrier-based naval jets during the early years of the Cold War. The F9F Cougar was developed as a straight-winged, upgraded version of the F9F Panther. It was designed to be faster, with improved handling characteristics and an increased weapons payload. It was produced in various configurations, with the F9F-6 and the F9F-8 being the most notable models. The F9F-8 Cougar's first flight was on September 20, 1951, and it entered service in September of 1954. The F9F-8 Cougar was the most refined version of the aircraft, which had a slightly swept wing design compared to the earlier Panthers. This provided improved aerodynamics and higher speeds. The F9F-8 Cougar was primarily used by the U.S. Navy in the mid-1950s and the early 1960s. The Cougar was intended to be used in Korea but arrived too late for the war. It saw its only combat in the Vietnam War, where a small number of the two-seat TF-9J trainer versions were used by the Marines as forward air control aircraft. Forward control aircraft are just aircraft that provided guidance and control to other aircraft engaged in close air support missions. By the mid-1960s, the F9F Cougar was replaced by more advanced aircraft like the McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II. The F-4 could reach higher speeds and had greater capabilities. Although it was gradually phased out of service, the Cougar continued to be flown by the reserve units until the early 1970s. The F9F-8 Cougar was a vital aircraft during its era, offering more improved capabilities over its predecessors, and serving in the U.S. Navy for both tactical and strategic roles during the early Cold War. That's all for the history lesson. I hope you enjoy the combat. Right now I'm just trying to climb as high as I can so I can boom and zoom some people. I definitely want to stay as high as I can in this aircraft. I say that because this aircraft pretty much gets outperformed by literally everything at this battle rating. It's not very fast, it doesn't climb very well, and it's also not very maneuverable. This F9F can face MiG-17s, and this aircraft really has no business fighting those planes. One good thing about this aircraft is that I get 2 AIM-9Bs. If you get all the modifications on the aircraft, you can get 4 AIM-9Bs. While AIM-9Bs really aren't the best missiles in the game, they're still fine for 8.3. You just have to find an unsuspecting target like this A-32. I get a lock, and I fire the missile at him. He probably doesn't even know that I'm behind him. Now I'm going to try to help out my ally with this enemy MiG-15. I lock the MiG-15, but I know he's going to pull up, and I know that AIM-9B is never going to hit him, so I'm just going to try to go for the gun kill. As he pulls up, this is my chance to try to get a shot off on him. I fire at him there, but unfortunately miss. I know he doesn't have a lot of energy, so I'm going to try to lock a missile on him now. He's not going to be able to maneuver in time, and I'm also really close to him, so it hits him. And then immediately after I kill him, I'm going to climb back up to altitude, and I'm always going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. You also want to make sure that you pull up a lot earlier than you normally would with any other aircraft. This aircraft feels like it has concrete for flight controls. Now I'm heading towards the enemy airfield to help out my ally Nick. I know I'll never get to the Vampire in time before this IL-28 passes me, so I'm going to go for the IL-28. I know that the IL-28 has really good gunners, so I have to be very careful here. I'm able to hit him there, but then I'm not able to turn back in, so I'm just going to pull up and gain all my altitude back. I know I still have a bunch of energy, so I'm just going to turn back around to try to kill the IL-28. And then as I'm in the dive, I'm always going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. I know the IL-28 is pretty heavily damaged here, so I'm just going to try to kill him on this pass. I hit him there, fire at him again here, and then I'm able to take him out. And then once again, immediately after the kill, I'm going to climb back up to altitude. I'm always going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. I still see that Vampire coming in towards me, so I have to be very careful of him. All I'm trying to do here is just keep climbing above him so I can boom and zoom him. I start the dive on him. I'm just trying to get behind him. I fire a couple shots around him just to scare him, and then I'm able to take him out. And then once again, immediately after they kill him, and I climb back up to altitude, I'm always going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. As I was climbing, I saw this IL-28 that I'm going to head for now. But then right out of the corner of my eye, I see that this meteor just popped up. I know that he's the much more dangerous target, so I'm going to try to head on him now. I definitely don't want to fully commit this because I'm literally a brick. Unfortunately, none of those shots hit. Since he's trying to turn back in towards me, he's going to lose a lot of speed and energy, so I'm just going to keep flying away. I can outrun him for the time being. I definitely don't want to dogfight this guy. This guy will literally outperform me in every way. Thankfully, he starts to turn around, so I'm just going to climb away. I just need to stay above these last two guys. I'm more worried about the meteor. Since the meteor flew away for the time being, I'm going to try to kill this R2Y2. He's in the turn now, losing all of his speed and energy. I fire at him there, and I'm able to take him out. And then immediately after the kill, I'm going to look around me, always being aware of all my surroundings. And then just like that, off my right, I see the meteor coming in towards me. I'm definitely not in a very good spot here. I know I'm going to need all the airspeed I can get, so I'm not going to climb here. But I also know that he will outrun me. But then as I'm trying to lead him to my allies, he starts to turn away from me. I'm thinking he probably saw the Banshee that's above me, so all I'm going to do here is just climb and stay above him. Now the Banshee's running back to his airfield, which is kind of annoying. I know I definitely cannot get too close to his airfield or else I'm going to die to the missiles. But I also see that there's a mountain in front of his airfield that I'm going to try to use for cover. Looks like he's getting a little bit slower, so I'm going to use this to my advantage. I'm already fully committed here, I'm entirely too close. I know as soon as those missiles come for me, I'm just going to dive straight down. Here come the missiles, and I'm just going to dive straight down. One of them hit the mountain, but then unfortunately one of them's coming in towards me. I go to full rail controls, and I'm able to outmaneuver it, and it explodes. I see that he starts to turn back around and towards me, but I'm not worried about it because I know I have a lot of help around me. He starts to turn back towards his airfield, so I'm just going to use this time to climb. And then about 10 more minutes of him just flying away, we're able to win on tickets. Thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my video. If anybody has any suggestions on what aircraft they want me to fly next, please leave in the comment section down below, and I'd be happy to fly that aircraft.